So we just got some pretty interesting new info about Ceridra. Yeah, the Harmony Path character that's supposed to drop in the second half of version 3.5. And honestly, she might be way better than people initially expected. This comes from Luna, who's been one of the more reliable sources lately, especially when it comes to early kit descriptions. So let's break it down and talk about what kind of unit Ceridra is shaping up to be. Save up to 25% on the current banners at lootbar.gg. All you need is your UID and server. The link is in the description. Now, first off, Ceridra isn't your typical Harmony Wind unit that just buffs the whole team in a general way. Instead, she's what you'd call a universal support. Someone who fits into almost any team, but still leans slightly toward a more specific kind of synergy. Think Robin or Tribby, where you can run them with a lot of characters, but they're clearly better when paired with certain mechanics. In Ceridra's case, the focus seems to be around single-target direct damage dealers who aren't part of the Remembrance Path. This is where things start to get spicy. According to the leaks, Ceridra has a skill that buffs one teammate and, here's the cool part, instantly gives them an extra turn. That's huge. If you've played around with turn manipulation units before, you know how broken this can be when timed right. It lets your DPS basically get another full round of damage without waiting, which can completely shift the flow of a fight. And because this works best with characters who deal direct damage rather than relying on crowd control or summons, it opens up some really fun combos. A few examples that were specifically mentioned are Phanon, the Herta, and Anaxa. These are all characters who hit hard and want to stay active, so giving them more turns just amplifies what they already do well, especially with Phanon, who's already a pretty tight, momentum-driven DPS. Pairing with someone like Ceridra could smooth out rotations and let you skip past awkward cooldown gaps. What's interesting is that Ceridra also contributes a little to your skill point economy. She's not going to be a top-tier generator like Sparkle or Ruin May, but according to Luna, she can generate a small number of skill points passively. And honestly, that's enough. For most teams, especially ones built around a single carry, you don't need a massive flow. You just need to avoid running dry. Ceridra looks like she helps with that without requiring your whole team to be built around skill point conservation. And here's something that might surprise people. Ceridra is expected to sell better than both Tribby and Hyacine, which is kind of wild considering both of those characters were solid in their own right. But I think it speaks to the hype around her design and how flexible her kit is. Players love strong supports who can slot into different teams without being pigeonholed. Plus, that turn-granting mechanic? It just feels fun and powerful. As for when she's coming, Luna says she's likely planned for the second half of version 3.5, which puts her sometime around September if the patch schedule stays consistent. Of course, that part isn't officially confirmed, so treat it as likely rather than locked in. Overall, Ceridra is shaping up to be one of those support units who quietly makes a huge difference in how your team flows. She's not flashy like a damage dealer, but if you like playing around with tempo, skill point management, or just enabling your main carry to go nuts, she might be the perfect piece to round out your roster. So what do you think? Would you pair her with someone like Phanon or Anaxa, or do you think she's better off with a surprise pick? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious to see what team comps people are already theory crafting. Save up to 25% on the current banners at lootbar.gg. All you need is your UID and server. The link is in the description.